Hey listener pals, I'm really excited today to show you around my Dodge Viper. I've had this car about 2.5 years. It's definitely a favourite in the stable. It's just an outrageous car. It's a 1997 GTS. It's got an 8-litre V10 engine under the bonnet. It's a 6-speed manual. It's got no airbags, no ABS, no traction control. It's a bit of a handful. Come and have a look. The first generation Vipers cost around $50,000 US, which doesn't actually sound a lot now, but back in 1991 that was a lot of money. And in fact, for that sort of money, you could have bought a house in Christchurch. Of course, you can't drive around in a house, but hey, if you really wanted to, you could live in a Viper. The first generation Viper ran from 1991 till 2002. It was during this time that my cousin and I were visiting Singapore, and I found this amazing Viper telephone. It's a corded phone, it's got buttons on the bottom. It was so cool, I just had to get one. And I had this phone in my bedroom for about 3 years, and that's when I was about probably 18 to 21 years old. This second gen example was produced between 1996 and 2001. This is my favourite shape Viper. I think the first gen looked a little bit silly, just the big curves, the pinch point in the waist, and the triple spoke alloys I was never a big fan of. This one, I think they got the shape right. We've got this cool double bubble in the roof. That is actually for helmet space, believe it or not. These cars were used a lot for racing, so it just gives a little bit more room in that cabin. It's got the awesome vents and things here. This one's Stick It Up for the PlayStation, obviously going back to Gran Turismo on the PS1. This was the hero car that everybody could win. It's got this outrageous vent here, just this big cut into the door there is so cool. Look at the shape of the door. The button, there's not even a door handle out there, it's pretty streamlined. I've got this little button here to open the door, and look at the shape of that door. It's quite unique. There aren't many cars in the world that have such a lean profile through there, and then this big bit up here, and it's a very wide door. This car's got aluminium suspension components and the light fiberglass body. This means it's lightweight, and the stonking 8-litre V10 produces 450 horsepower. All in all, it gets a little bit silly. Fun fact, in 1989, when the prototype Viper was being created, Chrysler actually owned Lamborghini and asked them to cast a prototype aluminium block for the sports car to use. It's funny to think the engine in this car could be the great-great-granddaddy of the smaller 5-litre V10 in my Lamborghini Gallardo. As alluded to before, this isn't the safest car to drive. Obviously there's a lot of power. It came from the factory with airbags, but they've been removed due to this one having a little bit of a racing heritage. It did have a roll cage inside, which we've had removed because we wanted this to be road legal again. It's still got the bonnet pins. That whole bonnet just comes off in one big piece. Any of our listener pals who watch my YouTube channel will know I'm a big fan of personalised plates. I was very pleased to find this one was available, quick to bite. Thought it was perfect for a venomous snake. And there it is. This is just a printed plate. It's the regulation size and colour obviously, but we've got our logo on there, we've got the Viper logo over there and the websites. So one thing about sports cars and cars with big engines, obviously V8s, V10s, is the sound you can get out of them. And you know, we have like the Ferrari 8,500 RPM out of a 3.5-litre V8. It sounds phenomenal. This car, 8-litre V10, you would think it sounds amazing. It actually, to be honest, it's a little bit disappointing, the sound. I mean, it sounds better than a Corolla, but it's pretty average. I think part of the reason, look at this exhaust, it's just got these two little pea-shooter pipes out the back. You'll pick up a bit of the exhaust note and the cold start in this video, but yeah, overall this car for me is a 9 out of 10 in so many regards, but when it comes to the exhaust note and the sound it makes, I'd probably give it about a 3.5 or a 4 out of 10. Like many American cars, the cliche, these are fantastic in a straight line, they're not the best around corners. That would be my experience with this car. In saying that, it's got monster back tyres on it, and purportedly they can handle almost 1G of lateral grip. So I haven't tested that, but if that's the case, that's pretty awesome. I've had a few left-hand drive cars and they take a little bit of getting used to the drive. One tendency is to drift across the centre line because you're used to being seated in that position, which is where my passenger is right now. They take a little bit getting used to going around T intersections and roundabouts, just getting used to the spatial position of the car. One thing with a left-hand drive, if you are on a road trip, you have to have a passenger who you really trust, because if you get stuck behind a caravan or a truck, you just cannot see the road in front of you, and you've got to have a spotter effectively who is telling you, yep, the road's clear, you can go, or no, hold back. And that's where your communication has to be pre-decided and very clear. Yes means yes, go, not yes, there's a truck coming, stay behind. So adds a bit of excitement to a road trip. The Viper production run finished in 2017 after completing 32,000 units, and that was over a 26-year period. It's a bit sad. There is rumour of a 2025 GTS coming out next year. Have a look at this. Man, oh man, if this car is produced, I can't wait to see it in the flesh. Looks absolutely epic. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Hopefully you learned something new. You can see all our cars in stock at www.efmc.co.nz. See you next time.